We're going to cross Italy from here to here, from Genova on the west coast to Ravenna on the east coast, and back across two different mountain roads. We're going to take a bottle of water on the Ligurian Sea and take it to the other sea, the Adriatic Sea, across Italy. It's all the Roman centers, medieval towns and convents, wonders of the Renaissance, mighty castles and divine poets, crossing the Apennine region. Italy coast to coast, from where Columbus was born to where Dante died, and bring water to water, from sea to sea. Genova, beautiful port and coast city between mountains and sea. Summer of 2021. We're going to collect a bottle of water from this sea and take it to the other side of Italy. Let's go! The town of Luni was founded by the Romans in 177 BC, 2,200 years ago. This was the arena. The name Luni comes from Luna, goddess of the moon. It was a port because in that times the sea reached these lands. Now the sea is 2 kilometers from here. Carrara is the capital city of marble, the beautiful Italian marble used since old Roman Republic and Empire. Michelangelo Buonarroti spent years living here looking for and choosing personally the marble for its eternal masterpieces. Fiesole is a little town on the hills north of Florence, so near that has been a high-level neighborhood of Florence for so long. So ancient that archaeology and architecture go from Etruscan to Roman to medieval up to the Garibaldi Italian Unity era. On the higher hill, the Franciscan convent of Fiesole from 15th century. This hill was inhabited since the Etruscan times. There are 3 cloisters, the large, the intermediate and the little one. The friars here worked and prayed. Saint Francis of Assisi. The little cloister. This is the refectory, with a beautiful Last Supper. In the chapel there are many art masterpieces. I wonder how they carved this marble, handmade. In the 1930s, Albert Einstein came many times here to stay with the friars, his friends, especially the organist, with whom he spent hours and days playing his violin. Franciscan friars, they exist to serve the people. In the 15th century, Saint Bernardino from Siena was here. He was a famous theologist, but also wrote books about ethic in economics, usury, philosophy of the private property, and ethic in politics. The room of the founder of the convent. The friars lived in these cells. The center of Italy is very hot in summer, 33 to 37 degrees Celsius. But at the pass we have a nice temperature at 900 meters, with a fountain of fresh mountain water.
Todavía no podemos llegar a nuestra destinación, a nuestro destino, a nuestro objetivo, porque es imposible no parar en cada lugar que encontramos como esto. Vengan, vamos a ver.
The castle of Brisighella, built in the 14th century and enlarged by the Venetians in the 16th century, is known as the Rock of Brisighella, that is the town on the valley below. There's also a clock tower on the other side of the hill. Originally a fortress from 13th century, the clock was added in 1850. We keep crossing Italy to reach the other sea. Ravenna is a beautiful ancient city, plenty of historical and religious monuments. It was an important city for the Western Roman Empire and for the reigns that came after the fall of Rome. This was the palace of Theodoric, the Ostrogoth king of Italy. These are the remains of a greater complex built in the 5th century. Basilica of Saint Apollinaire, originally from 6th century. The Basilica of Saint Francis, built in the 9th century, above an older church. We are going to that tomb, the Dante Alighieri sepulchre. He died here in Ravenna, Dante Alighieri, poet maximus. He died here in Ravenna in 1321. Here the bones of Dante were hidden during the World War II. To reach the sea you have to cross the Pinewood of Classe. Dante knew this place because he wrote about it in his Divina Commedia, on Purgatory, chant 28. I've been many times on his path. In Divina Commedia he wrote about the trails of Noli, Liguria, because he also lived there. Here the link on my video of Noli where I walk on another Dante's path. But before the end of this video we'll see more Dante's places. If you cross Italy, you step into countless historical paths. Stay till the end. We arrive to the other sea. I'm going to pour water to water, from one coast to another. On our way back, we took another road that brought us to the rock of Bismantova, archaeological site since the prehistoric era. Dante Alighieri visited the mountain in 1306 and wrote about its steep trail in his Divina Commedia. So we had to follow his steps and climb it. In ancient times there were pagan altars and fortifications. 1041 meters. Too much wind to fly a drone. Too bad. Way back home, we drank mountain water at another pass. This trip is all about water. Back in Liguria. And this is the water of Ravenna poured into the water of Genova. Water to water. See you next time. Subscribe if you like.